The effects processing on these samples is definitely the most important part. All right, so I gotta hold this mic real quick so I can show you what I'm doing. But first, we're gonna hit an A minor chord. So I'm gonna play it up higher right here, right? And then we're gonna extend that out to the 7th or the 9th chord with some inversions. But the basic chord is going to be this A minor. So what I'm gonna do is play the A all the way down here. Then I'm gonna catch the rest of the chord, but also add in the B right here. And then I'll play out the rest up here. Let me show you. That gives us a nice long extended chord, and also having that root note lower sounds good. So we start off on A minor. The next chord is going to be a F major. Then we're going to go up to G major. But those are also going to get some inversions and some notes added in. So let me show you those two. Let me go ahead and take off everything from here, and let me just let you hear what this sounds like before and after, and you'll see why you might want to put a lot of effects on it and process it to get this sound.
Just say you will.
Now with everything on, so much different. So you could really start off with something as simple as keyscape, right? So let's go over to keyscape. Let me show you the exact piano I used. You could see that it's just the cinematic preset, and with the effects taken off, we have the piano sounding like this. So what I did for this was an EQ, and I cut out a lot of the low end, a lot of the high end, and then I'm cutting out some of the buildup that I was getting in here. Every chord progression, every piano is going to be different, but let me go ahead and turn that on, and then I have a reverb next. It's giving us that smooth sound. That second chord sounds really nice like that. Then we go ahead and put a really big reverb on it. I used Valhalla Vintage Reverb for this. We're doing about a 1.9 second. The mix is very, very high. We're at like 70%. It's gonna wash this piano out a lot. Let's go ahead and hear it now. And then the next thing that is added in is a one shot from my one shot kit. And you can see it's just copying the chords, but I didn't extend them all the way out. This is the volume envelope I created for it. And then if we hear it by itself without effects, again, you're gonna hear that it just sounds pretty basic. Nothing crazy. You probably wouldn't even look twice at that and be like, oh yeah, this sounds cool, right? But then we put all this stuff on it. Let's start from the very beginning. So the first thing I did was an EQ. I cut out almost all of the low end, really, a lot of the low mids too. Then I cut out a little bit of the uppers, kind of like a lot of the high end, honestly, down to like 7K. But we still have a lot of mid and high mid range to work with. So I thought of the other piano when I was doing that to make sure that I wasn't just making it the same exact EQ curve. Then we go with another Valhalla Vintage, but we're doing a 4-second. It's up high again, like 74%. Copy these settings if you want. I did a little bit of high cut right here on the EQ. And then I went with Vintage Chorus, which is inside FL. I think you got to upgrade past 20 to get it. I'm not sure when they added this exactly. And then I have it brought down just a little bit. The mix is at like what, 70, 68. And then I went ahead and added a doubler to it. And it's just a nice little doubler, just widening it out a little bit. And then the best thing is this H delay. And the H delay is doing a quarter note on the tempo. And it's a pretty big feedback. And we're at about 20% on the actual level of it. Then I went ahead and added in a vocal. This is just something simple inside of Arcade. I have a affiliate link down below in the description if you want to try out Arcade, and it's this preset right here, or this bank, and the processing on that is the simple EQ. I'm really just keeping the mid-range for this, a really big reverb, and then a doubler again. and it lands perfectly on that next chord. So I just wanted to keep one simple vocal, kind of catches your attention, not too much, and it leaves a lot of the room for the artist. And the last thing is this percussion loop I created. So the processing on this is super important. So we get this simple little pattern. Let me go ahead and play it. Right? That added in with the rest of it doesn't sound good until you go ahead and process it. And it adds a nice little drum feel to it, but it's not going to get in the way when you add the actual drums. So you barely hear it. And then the processing on that is a simple EQ, you see right here, and then another reverb. And now we're gonna add drums to it. All right, so let's get started on the drums. I have some drums pulled up right here. All the LS ones are from Resupply. So we have an open hat, hi-hat, snap, 808, and then I have a kick, which isn't from Resupply, and then the Vision snare, which is from an old Rick and Thaddeus kit, and then a LS 27 snare from Resupply. Let's go ahead, just do a two-step on the hi-hat right here and get this snare right here, little open hat there, and just get this type of bounce going at first. Real smooth, right? And then I also have a snap right here, which I'm gonna do for like kind of like a breakdown part along with this sine bass right here. All right, so I'm gonna try something real quick. I'm gonna duplicate this hi-hat right here. So I'm gonna throw it into one of the mixers that has all that reverb on it. And the delay too. Let's see if we could tuck them. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That actually sounds good. So let's hit Shift D. It's gonna be right here. And these are gonna build up like that. Maybe a little bit louder. Let's do one again right here. All right, then right here we could do like a slower one. Let's go out something like that, maybe on F. All right, now let's go into the keys. Let's take the root notes right here and go back in here and throw them on this sub bass that I got. Bring them up an octave. Yeah, right here. Drop that down an octave. See what that sounds like. It'll be a nice little switch. Yep. Then we just get the kick. Let it loop back. Figure out what we want to do. Ooh, that bass transition sounds crazy. All right, here we go with the kick. Let's fire. Turn the snare up. Let's layer it. It was better without that kick right there. Smooth. So fire. Drop these in. I'll reorganize these later, but let me just show you what I would do to go into the verse. So this is all going to be copied over, right? But then we drop into the verse, and the only thing that stays is snap. Should be like that. Then we got to delete them from here. So now let's hear it. I'm going to play the end of this and let it loop back in. We'll see if there's a nice transition. Snap fits nice. Ugh.